Hey guys, want to watch a video? Okay, let's do it. Next batch is up on the store. Some more stickers, all my snaps, all my Ride UKs. Didn't want to do another magazine focus video since feels like I just did the Dig one. But I got all these bookmarks in these great magazines. I just couldn't wait to get back into it. This won't be nerdy like the t-shirt video I just did, but hopefully you enjoy it. And time goes quick, so let's get right to it. February, March 2007, Hoder, an amazing 3 on the cover. Chris Moeller interview. This is what we're going to talk about. I don't know how many interviews Moeller's done over the decades. Always funny, always smart, always brutally honest, and this thing is just chock full of choice nuggets. And I want to start with this one right here. So we're talking about the history of S&M, and they're asking about the late 80s. Okay, so at the time there was BMX racing and freestyle. They were separate and the bikes were very different, but now the bikes are nearly the same, and it's been that way for a long time. Do you think S&M had a hand in that? And Moeller answers, oh yeah, because back then there was no dirt jumping. It wasn't called dirt jumping. You know, dirt jumps were the one place where freestyle guys and race guys would both come and have a good time, and it wasn't competitive. But you give adults enough access to it, and they're going to turn it competitive, and that's exactly what happened. What a great observation, Moeller, and so well put. Let me jump right over, make this quick aside. BMX Business News, summer 98. This is a trade publication, basically marketing BMX to bike shops. And page 24, BMX Business News takes a second look at the fastest growing segment of the 20-inch market, dirt jumping. The article is called Jumping the Bandwagon, and it's explaining to bike shop owners what makes a jumping bike. And they've got the standard Trail Boss, TNT, Schwinn Blue Falcon, S&M Next Generation dirt bike. And this is put out by the guys at Ride, so it's all legit and just totally on point, and it's a great time capsule piece, and it's up on the store. So happy to share that with you. But back to Moeller's observation about subculture going mainstream. It got me thinking about street riding, and so let's start in like 96. I was 16. X Games were brand new. And if you happen to catch the X Games on TV, you'd see vert, dirt jumping, maybe a little flatland if you were lucky, and the ramp competition, the ramp riding skate park course, which they called street. And I don't know who thought it made sense to call this street, but that's what it was. And I remember in Ride, if they were talking about like regular old street riding, they'd actually call it real street and put it in quotes. And partly when they did that, you know, they were making a mockery of at the X Games, but also they were making an important distinction because apparently you might not know what they were talking about at this time, because street riding was still not quite formalized as a thing on its own. Then you get road fools, and you know, you got the bus going to destination cities to ride a particular skate park or set of trails. They ride all day, and then they go back to the hotel and they go out to the bars, and the young kids would keep riding. They go out street riding until dawn. And, you know, they did this in a couple of different issues until it became a pattern. And, you know, like there's a clip of Robbie Morales joking to Van, shouldn't you be out street riding? Which is so funny, so perfect. But BMX was, street was really a sideshow to the main event at this time. And still raw and new, and it was the most exciting thing to me in any of those videos was always the nighttime street stuff. And I know that lots of young teenagers like me felt the same way. Then 2002, Animal comes out. They're the first company to build a brand around street riding as its own standalone thing. They blow up and get huge, and you get the video revolution of the 2000s, where videos are a new part of BMX culture in a way they've never been before. You get riders going out and filming video parts, like going out to ride to film clips for a video part, and it's all street. And this level of focus, is really, really new, as opposed to just, filming your friends when you're out riding. And I'm sure a lot of this, skateboarding gets credit for inspiring us and influencing us. And skateboarding's badass, so, why not take influence from them? But the idea that street riding was, if you're filming a video part, it had to be on street, that was new. And I've never heard this point made, but I think that, I don't think it's far-fetched. Call it the Woodward effect. So, I don't know when Woodward started, but by the late 90s it was big, and it's only gotten like colossally huge in the years since. But you could go to Woodward as a camper or as a visiting pro and jump into the foam pit, jump the resi, and you could train and learn tricks without risk. And I know that that's how I came to perceive Woodward as a training ground. And I didn't want to see clips from Woodward in a video. And I extended this prejudice onto all ramp riding. The all ramp riding was training for the real thing, which was street. The street was where you went out, put it on the line, no pads, no helmet, find the real terrain, and prove what you got. And I'm thinking about this, and the Stu Johnson interview on Chris Doyle's podcast drops last week. So good. Track it down. Listen to it if you haven't. And Van Homan is the co-host for this issue, and he says to Sue, makes this great observation. He says, "Thank you for Mike Aitken and Anthem 2. Thank you for just showing us Mikey riding transitions. That part is all dirt and park, some street stuff, but he's right. It's Mike Aitken, the best to ever do it. Why would you want to watch Mike Aitken grind a ledge or do a manual 180? Like, the point of Mike Aitken existing in the universe is so that we can watch him roasting through the air. So yes, fan, you're totally right, and thank you, Stu, for Anthem 2. But circling back around to Moeller's observation about street riding, about dirt jumping going mainstream. What's the biggest thing now in BMX? It's not vert. It's not racing. It's not dirt jumping, really. It's street riding, for sure. Okay, we maybe barely have time for one more nugget here. Do it as fast as I can. When we heard we were in San Francisco last week of BMXers pouring engine oil over a park because they weren't allowed to ride it. There really seems to be a big segregation between BMXers and skateboarders here. What's Moeller's response? I don't like whiny little kids. If the skate park doesn't allow bikes, then don't be a little bitch. Sneak in at night and ride it if you want to, or get a skateboard and skate during the day. You can have just as much fun on a skateboard as you can on a bike. You don't have to be so closed-minded that everything has to happen on a bike. You're not going to go down to the beach and surf on your bike, and there's bikes allowed out there. I'm glad bikes aren't allowed in these parks. It should make bikers go out and do their own thing, but they're so lazy now. They don't want to build ramps. They don't want to build trails. They just want to whine and complain that they can't get into the skate park. Well, it's called a skate park anyway. Well, I can't add to that, but I'm out of time. So, thanks for watching, guys. Good night.